Alright guys, we're here with our top 8 ARG sponsored by Team Meta Club. Anthony, boy, tell them what you played.
Man, so I played Bardock, Masked Saiyan. Ginyu has been really popular lately, as well as a lot of self-awakened leaders. So I figured I'd go into a tournament hosted by Senpais yesterday, and I'd go with Bardock to try to be aggressive and punish them for doing so. So the list is pretty standard. I did switch out a few cards, and I did add one card from set 3, which I completely regret. But we'll go through the list and we'll just explain what it does. So Masked Saiyan, on its unawakened side, I can discard the top 3 from my deck. If it's a black card, I gain crit. If it's any other color, then I gain 5k. When you awaken, you draw 2. The awakened side does the same thing. So discard 3. If it's black, it gains crit. If it's any other color, it gains 5k. When I attack, I get to draw 1. Just a thing to know, when you awaken it and you have crit on this side, you don't keep the crit, but you keep 5k. So you can potentially swing for 25 with crit. So I was doing a lot of work with it. I run a red, blue, black engine. Those are the colors I found best that help extend the play, and I'll explain it a little further. So first 4, Saiyan Kaba. This is your awaken condition. Also, you take gains double strike. I found out, just playing this card later on is what works best. And there's a black card in here that helps awaken it as well that I used earlier on. So the Kaba is more for late game. Further Destruction Champa. This is what gives your double strike with the crit, which makes it really aggressive and really scary for a lot of people that see that. So early on in the turn 1, I'm basically hitting you for 25 double strike crit, and it just puts you in a bad position from that game if you take it. Another way to extend the combo is Unbreakable Super Saiyan Son Goku. Basically, it's another 10k drop, super combo, draw 1, and this card's really good. That's it for the red engine. For the blue engine, I really like this card, Encouraging Presence Manaka. It doesn't give you that extra 5 or 10k that the Champa does, but it does allow you to draw. So depending on the matchup I'm playing, if I want to be aggressive later on in the game, then I'll keep the Champa for later game, and I'll use the Manaka first. It helps me by gaining a card into my hand, and it gives me that double strike. So 3 Manaka, 4 was too many, so I thought 3 was a good number. 4 Whis' Coercion, of course I want to negate attacks early on, and 3 Sensu Bean to extend my plays. 4 was too many, and I thought 3 was the perfect number. I would always put 1 as an energy, and I would usually use the other 2. The card that I was talking about from the Tournament of Powers set that I used, Spectrum Attack Obuni. When you combo with this card, you get to draw 1 and then you place 1 at the bottom of your deck. It sounds really good in theory, but you're spending 1 to get 10k, you're drawing a card, and there wasn't very many cards I was looking for. Usually I had my 10k drops, I already had my Unbreakable Son Gokus, so basically I was just picking this up, drawing a card, and throwing away something that I essentially needed. In hindsight, I would probably switch these back to Jocko's, maybe add another blue card, but just for me personally, I did not like these Spectrum attacks. And that's it for the blue engine. For the black engine, it's pretty straightforward. We've got 4 of the Supreme Kai of Time. If you have 5 in your warp, it's a 10k combo, super combo. You gotta have that. 3 Increasing Evil Masked Saiyan. This is the card I'm talking about. This is the one that I use early on in the game. It also helps pop cards from my opponent's field. So this is what I usually use early on to awaken, and I'll usually swing for Kaba later on in the game, and that's what I found usually works a little better for me. For the trunk split, I use 3 of the Unrelenting Assault trunks and 4 of the Time Patrol trunks. To warp this guy and get it back into my hand gives me a free 5k combo, which is nice, but I would much rather have the opportunity to look at what's on the top 2 cards in my deck and, you know, potentially get a World Protector or a 10k combo that I can combo with and finish the game off with. So that's why I went more with the Time Patrol Trunks. And those 2 are going to be Xeno evolved through the Killer Sword Trunks. This card is amazing. When it evolves, I get to choose 1 card in my warp that's 3 or less, and I get to play it. So when I'm dropping the Killer Sword Trunks, I'm usually going for game, and oftentimes you have to cover double strike, another double strike if I go for the Chikaba, or if I go for a Mira, not the Mira, the 3-drop Mira. So I really like this combo a lot. And the last cards in the deck, I've got the 4 crit Mira and just 2 of the power aura Mira. So this card is really good early on in the game. I'll swing with this guy, I'll make it single strike 15k crit, and then I'll drop this guy with the double strike crit with Champa, and you're already down 3. And so if you're already taking 1 life from yourself awaken, you're basically awakening on turn 2 with 1 energy, 2 energy when you're putting it down for the start of your turn. And I'm just moving too fast for most decks to play. And this Power Aura Mirror is really nice. I use this in conjunction with the Killer Sword Trunks if I'm pushing for game and he has 1 life left. So the permanent effect is if you have 3 or more cards in your warp, it gains 5k. And if you have 5 or more warp, then it gains an additional 5k. So when I'm pushing for the game, it automatically gets 25k starting off, not including what I combo with it. So it's very hard to get over. Like I said, this is a pretty standard Bardock list. Besides the Spectrum Mabuni, that's really the only card that's a little different from Tournament of Powers. I haven't seen anything else different. Still playtesting with it, but that's what got me top 8. And it was a really good event. I lost to a Vegeta, one of the teammates, Miguel. So it was crit versus crit, and Vegeta is just crazy good. And the second deck I lost to was by, what was Milton playing? He was playing Ginyu, and it literally came down to 5k, and he was able to get past me. So everything else is pretty fun, pretty easy to get through. It's a good event.
All right, man. Well, congrats on your top. Congrats on the mat. Philadelphia, man.
Yes, sir.
We're coming.
We're coming.
All right, man. Thank you.
Yep.